Hey everybody, well it's early in the morning, but I didn't want to be the second person to the beach today, so I've got the doggies. We're going to take a quick peek over there because there's a lot of pebbles in a straight line, so we're going to do a quick surface scratch. Then I'm going to take the doggies home and I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a thorough picking of all these pebbles. Okay guys, so it looks like we are the first people here. If I'm finding sea glass such as this, and I saw a few more over here, I saw a nice green piece. The waves have been pushing in for a really long time. We're on the quarter moon right now, so it's not the most favorable day. However, any day that the weather is nice is a great day for us to be out exploring. Oh, I see a nice piece here, guys. Well, it's not that nice, but it's the biggest piece I found so far today. So check this out, guys. I'm not sure if this is uranium glass or not. It's a little bit too early in the morning and the sun just isn't hitting it. I know that the content of uranium that was put into certain glass can go anywhere from 2 to 24%. So this could be a piece of uranium glass that is really just faint in color, and it's not as glowy as the ones we'd expect to see. So I'm gonna have to put this one under a black light when we get home. Check out this pottery shard here, everybody. You can see it's a really thick base, like a footing from the bottom over here, and that the ceramic looks really soft. So it tells us this is earthenware, and it's probably a little bit older. Oh, look at that. We can tell that this is a really old pottery shard because the cobalt oxide is bleeding out excessively all around it. There's a little bit of porousness on the side over here, so we know it wasn't vitrified at a high temperature. So a piece like this could actually be from the 1700s. You know, now that I look at it, it almost looks like there's a cross right over here, and this is a hockey stick. I don't think this is a hockey stick, but I'm pretty sure this is a cross right over here. And this is a pretty amazing little find. You can actually see the little shelf that was formed from the high tides. So this would have been the higher of the two tides, and this right over here was the lower one. And I know that because there's sea glass sitting right over here that I didn't find yesterday. It's a little piece of purple. I can't tell. I thought it had a little bit of indentation or pattern on it, but it doesn't. Okay guys, well I made a few quick finds, but the dogs just aren't having any of this. So I'm gonna go and take them on our walk, and then we're gonna come back over here later on and see what we find. You can see it's got a ton of ash and inclusions in it, and it's almost shaped perfectly like a boot or the letter L. We're back at the beach. It's a couple of hours later and the tide is starting to come back in, but that is a-okay because most of the rocks that we're gonna be picking are a lot higher than the shoreline. And I had a really good time with the doggies. You know, as they're getting up in age, it's important for them to get lots of exercise. So without further avail, I'm gonna put the camera down and we're gonna see what we find. Oh. I think it's a marble, everybody. Yeah, okay, this is a marble here, guys. Check it out. I just started digging and I found this tiny little marble over here. I wasn't sure that it actually was a marble at first. You can see it's really green, and I thought it was a piece of Kelly green sea glass or like an emerald green that's really I thought it was like a piece of emerald green sea glass that was really well aged. It was kind of hard to see, and then when I picked it up I could see it's got a little bit of a swirl to it. It's really flat on one side. You can see it sits right here on my finger. It's a little bit of an oval shaped as well. I'm gonna get right back out there digging, guys, because the tide is coming up right now. Oh, look at this, guys. Pretty strange. Okay, I'm gonna share this with you guys. Okay, so it's a clear piece of sea glass, but you can see it's got a couple of holes in it right over here. I think this might be like a piece from an old chandelier. In the past, I used to do a lot of salvaging out of garbages during heavy pickup, and I've encountered a lot of pieces that had these holes on both sides that people would have thrown away. Oh, it's ceramic. Check out this. Okay guys, you can see that I just found a tiny little shard from an old plate, and this is no doubt from the willow pattern. And what's so amazing about it is you can see it's almost like there's a tiny little candle that's sticking out right over here. And it's really wild because you can take a plate that's like 10, 11 inches across and you can find the most unique little patterns that come out of them. And that's what happened right over here. It's a perfect little shard, and I'm pretty sure that this matches perfectly to the fence post on the willow pattern. Oh, I think I just saw something that was glass. Okay guys, I think I just saw something that was glass with that last push. Haha, it is glass, guys. It is glass. Okay guys, here it is. So I knew it wasn't coal because it had that glassy patina that we're used to seeing from sea glass, known as the hydration process. And then I flipped it over really quickly, and you can see there's a massive air bubble that's just exposed over here, and it's extremely elongated as well. This tiny little shard right over here could date as far back as French Louisbourg, and it could have even been left here by a Spanish or a Portuguese explorer that was stopping hundreds of years before that, and they were hunting for food, they were getting fresh water here in the New World. One of their bottles broke, or they just threw it right over the side when it was empty because they knew they had more. And here I find this amazing piece of black glass right here on the shoreline. Oh, I found a piece. Haha, it's got like a stripe in it. Okay guys, check this one out over here. Sometimes what happens is a small amount of glass can make its way inside of a bottle that's not supposed to be that color. And I've actually seen this quite a bit in bottles that were made around 1860 to 1880. You can see it right over here. It's got that amazing little stripe to it, and it's extremely well aged as well. You know, this one's here is about like a 9.8 out of 10. Haha, look at this, guys. It is so crazy. It's totally a piece of purple glass. And this is not from a baking dish, and this is not manganese glass, everybody. Check it out right over here. So what I am holding, it's got a little bit of sand in it. Okay guys, so what I am holding here is a piece of really, really dark purple, and this is a piece of privacy glass. Now, out my way, I found privacy glass in a few different shades. You know, the most common ones, I have to say, are yellow and they're clear. And then this one over here is purple. I have found a few purples in my life as well. It's been a long time since I found one, though. I don't even remember the last year it was. It's been so long. Okay, guys, I worked that pile all the way to the end, so we're gonna pick up and move now. There's a second pile right over here that kind of look the same way. It just snakes right along, and it's got those smaller pebbles that I'm used to seeing sea glass in. This is the high tide mark, guys, so I'm just gonna give it a quick little kick, and maybe we're gonna find some good pieces over here. You can see that the sea glass is clearly underneath it. So we're gonna keep going here, give it a few more kicks. Seaweed, move it out of the way. Okay, nice green. Haha, look at that! Check it out, guys. Okay, it's not the best age piece, but it's a really nice color to it. I don't think that's turquoise. Now that I'm looking at it, you can see it's got this little faint marking over here, and it's got a little bit of bumps on it. So there's a good chance over here that this might be from an old insulator, but I don't think this would be a Hemingway insulator. You know, I've seen some insulators made by Brookfield that were in a shade like this one over here. Unfortunately, I had only one of them in my life, and I sold it about 7 or 8 years ago, but I got a good price for it, and times were tough. I really wish I had it. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to go on the internet and find a nice photo of an old Brookfield insulator, because it's got this little ridged line right over here, and this, no doubt to me, is the top of an insulator, what I would expect to see. Oh, nice blue right here. There it is. Okay, well, it's not the nicest blue, but it's here, and it's big. It's a little bit smaller than a dime. Okay, I see a little bit of a green right over here. And then over here, I see a red, but I know it's just plastic. Check this one out right over here. But either way, I use this in my artwork. Nice little green. Take it home. Another one. Okay. Again here. Oh, guys, it's a piece of red. but it's not the kind of red that I want to find on the beach. So this right over here is what we call a vase filler in the sea glass world. So this is not actually sea glass. This is a piece of modern glass, and this is either sold in a craft store or a dollar store. One way you can really tell that these are modern pieces of glass is how they're perfectly rounded on one side and then they're flat on the bottom. And sometimes you can actually see these little lines on it, these little circles. I really want to be very clear here that if you see somebody out there that finds like a starfish or a heart, it's not something that's very old. It's very modern and it's just bought in a store. So this is not the kind of red that I want to find and I would expect to see on my beach. Oh, check out this, guys. Here we go. Okay guys, sorry you lost me over there. The tablet had fallen down and that's what happens. It's a windy day and I'm always filming on an angle and the water's coming up real close to me. So what I found over here is a piece of melt glass and it's really hard to see, but it actually has a stripe of orange in it. I just wanted to share this with you guys because I know it's not something you probably see every day and I love sharing everything. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at that. I just found two back to back. Yeah, okay. Here we go, guys. I'm gonna give you a quick 2-for-1 over here, guys, because I just found two tiny pieces. Well, one's not too tiny and the other one is. So here we go, guys. So first off, I found this perfect gray nugget right over here. You know, it's only about a 1/2 inch big, but it's aged to perfection. Over here, I found the tiniest little piece of red sea glass, but you can see it has these layers in it. It kind of has like a little bit of like a white layer to it. I guess I'm gonna have to catch it in the photo to show to you better. And what I know is a piece like this right over here. Okay, there you go, you can see it. So what I know about this piece over here is there's a good chance that it comes from like a Tiffany style lamp, you know, a stained glass type of a lamp over here. I've absolutely observed this type of a pattern in this style of glass before on these style lampshades. I'd say it's only about 3 millimeters by 1 millimeter. It's extremely small and it's extremely thin, so it might not be the easiest thing for me to photograph. However, I really want to share with you these little layers that you can see in the glass. Oh yeah, it's red! Check it out, I just found a nice dark piece of red sea glass. It's really hard to pick up the hue over here because it's so sunny behind me, but you can see it's a lot larger than that last one. I'd say it's about a 1/4 inch big. And it might even be a piece of amberina now that I'm looking at it. Let me see if I can hold it up right here and we can get a good color through it. Now, it's hard to see, but now that I'm looking at it right on the tip, it is absolutely not amberina sea glass. It just gives me that appearance because the glass gets thinner as it gets towards the edge. Now this is the kind of red I'm talking about, everybody. Oh yeah! Guys, it's a really tiny one. Check it out. It's a really small little cat's eye sea marble. It's got a little bit of orange, yellow, and I think there's some white to it as well. And I'd have to say it's only about 6 or 7 millimeters. It's really, really small. I'm not sure if anybody out there has watched my video called The Enigma of Sea Marbles. However, I do talk about how marbles were introduced into the ocean many generations ago and why some areas find a bounty full of marbles while others find none. Look at this, guys. Okay, I want to share this with you guys over here. It's not sea glass, but it's really something that's very unique. So what I have over here, guys, is a piece of concrete and there's a seashell stuck in it. Now, what makes this really interesting to me is I love to tell the story about how when people in maritime towns, they were making a concrete pour, a lot of times they would go down to the beach and they would just get a whole bunch of rocks and whatever happened to be in it, it got poured in with the cement and it became concrete. So then long after these buildings were decommissioned, a lot of the concrete gets used as armor rock, or it even just got dumped back into the ocean. So the idea that this seashell once was sitting here, it got picked up, turned into concrete, served its purpose as a building, and then many decades later, when the building was decommissioned, it got thrown back into the ocean, is an absolutely remarkable story. You know, in my 13 years, I've probably found 4 or 5 pieces of glass that were affixed into a piece of concrete like that. And I've even seen a huge slab, like a 1-ton slab, and there's a circumference of a bottle, and it's just sticking right out of it. I haven't seen it for about 6 years, but I know it's somewhere on this very beach. Unfortunately, it gets covered and uncovered as time goes on. I promise if I ever see it again, I will share it with you guys. It's a marble. It's another one, guys. This one is another really old marble. It is a honey amber brown. I'd have to say it's about 8 or 9 millimeters. I don't see any antique bubbles in it, but if you look right over there, you can see it's got a little happy face. It's smiling at me. This is a nice little happy amber brown marble. And this one over here could be an old cod stopper from an old cod bottle, because I have seen cod marbles that were made in this honey amber brown as well. Although most of the ones that I find out my way tend to be in aqua seafoam, as I'd mentioned before. Man, this is another one. I can't believe it. It's like a 3 marble day already. What's this? Is this a marble? No, this isn't a marble, guys. Okay, I thought this was a marble at first, but it is definitely not a marble. It's a piece of plastic. I'm going to share it with you either way, guys. You can see it's kind of got a neat little wavy cobalt blue and milk glass swirly pattern to it. And there's just a fragment of it as well. So at first I thought it was a sea marble, but then I noticed there's a little bit of a hole right over here. So there's a good chance this is some sort of a button. It's just hiding in the shadows, everybody. Check it out. There's been footprints. I've been here with the dogs already today, and this little piece of cobalt blue remained hidden in the shadows. I just think it's so amazing to sit here and marvel at the hundreds of millions of years of sediment that's just been condensing right next to the shoreline. It's not even 24 hours later, and look at the spot right over here where I was admiring the sediment. You can see that at least 10 tons of rock came down in a moment's notice. And I live only about 500 yards away from the shoreline, and I was able to hear this from my house. Okay, there's a little bit more that's fallen, guys, so we're out of here. Oh, look at this, guys. It's a little piece of a plate. I've probably picked over 10,000 pieces of little pottery shards like this, and I probably only have 10 of them that are red. It's a really rare occurrence for me to find a piece of a ceramic that has this red slip to it, this red glaze to it. Oh, look right here, guys. Is it plastic? No, it's not plastic. Guys, I just found another piece of red. This is the brightest out of all of the reds that I found so far today, guys. You know, it really just goes to show I never know what I'm going to find on the beaches. It's probably been a few months since I found anything that was red that wasn't plastic. And then lo and behold, today, I find 3 tiny little shades of red. I really don't care that if you put all 3 of these pieces together that I found today, they wouldn't even come close to covering a dime. I'm just happy that I'm finding these reds because it's been so long since I've seen this color out on my beach. Okay, guys, I really could not make something like this up. I am sitting here and I'm getting ready to photograph these pieces of glass, and I looked right down and there is a piece of red sea glass right next to it. This is absolutely crazy. It's really unfortunate. You can see it's got this chip on it right over here, so it suffered some sort of a stress. It was hit very recently, but no doubt it's the inside of a bottle. You can see right over here it's got this flat bottom, and over here it's got this little cavity. This is one of the craziest things. This beach is so big, and for me to sit down right over here and to find this piece. Okay, guys, it looks like I need a bigger rock to take this family portrait now. Ah, yeah, guys! Guys, it's the smallest little marble that I have seen in the longest time. Okay, guys, Check this one out right over here. This is the smallest marble. Okay, I can't even hold it in my fingers and you guys can see it. This thing is so small, I couldn't even get the camera to focus on it. So you can see right over here, it's the smallest little marble that I have seen in the longest time. I'd have to say it's only about 4 millimeters by 3 millimeters. It's just minuscule compared to the other ones. Now that I think about it, how about we take the other ones out and we compare all three of them and see how small this little one is right over here compared to those other ones. Check out this eclectic assortment of marbles, everybody. Now that I have all four of them together, you can really see how small this most recent one is, especially considering that this over here is only 6 millimeters. Check it out, guys. There's a little 30-foot boat out there and it's trolling. It's the first time this year I've seen a boat out in the waters. Spring is officially here. I'm just doing one last pass before I leave the beach, and there's a huge chunk of gray sitting right here. I cannot believe I missed this one. It's about the size of a quarter, although it does look a lot like the rocks all around it, so I guess that would make sense. It's gonna be time to call it a day, everybody. There's no more beach left for me to pick. The tide is really starting to roll in and it's absolutely beautiful, so I'm gonna go take the doggies for another walk. It just goes to show we really never know what we're gonna find out here. I cannot believe I found 4 genuine pieces of red in that one vase filler and those 4 marbles as well. A lot of really great tiny finds today. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Thanks for your love and your positive support and all the comments. It really means the world to me. Thank you all my new subscribers as well. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you again real soon.